Should I sell my house or keep it as a rental? I'm Byron Lazine. Welcome back to the channel. A lot of people are asking themselves this very question in this market, very incredible real estate market that we're living through. But if they're relocating to another area or to another home, they're asking, hey, well, should I sell and realize these profits and get this equity out of this house? Or should I keep it as a rental, as a future investment? What am I actually going to do with the money? What would I put it in? Am I going to put it in a crypto? Am I going to put it in the stock market, which seems high? Or should I just keep it in real estate? I already own this house. Maybe they can get positive cash flow. Maybe, maybe their mortgage is a lot lower. They're locked into a low interest rate. So it's a legitimate question. I'm looking forward to answering it. But first, let's react to what Dave Ramsey's advice is. Dave Ramsey, obviously an investor. He knows a lot about real estate, owns I think thousands of doors in real estate, started in real estate. So let's see what Dave says, and I'll give you my 2 cents on this.
Jake is with us in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Doing well, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So about a year ago, me and my wife, we had some stupid we still had to get out of our system. We'd been married for about 20 minutes and, of course, had to buy a house. And we didn't have a whole lot of money for it, so we didn't put 20% down. We put closer to 5% down.
I always thought about getting into the wedding industry as a real estate agent because look at that. Everyone does this. They get married, go buy a house.
And now we have a job offer that's about 50, 60 miles away. So we're going to be moving out of that house, and I'm wondering, should we, because I've kind of been interested in real estate and running a rental property business, because this is in a college town, should I still kind of keep this house since we might be upside down if we tried to sell it with all the fees included, or should I just try and throw as much money at it as I can to be able to sell it and profit a little bit?
So you're probably wondering, like, how is this person going to lose money? Anytime you buy and then sell, like within a year, you're running the risk of losing money. I mean, especially, if you bought with emotion, like Jake in Dallas, sounds like he did. They just got married, then they went and bought on emotion. You could create your own bubble. Just because you're buying in 2021 doesn't mean you're overpaying. But when you're competing against maybe 20, 30 offers and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get the property, you could have created your own bubble above and beyond the market. I always encourage buyers, if you're not going to be in the house for 7 to 10 years, just consider renting. It's probably going to be a better option for you.
Yeah. Well, it's not profit. It's just a matter of whether you write a check when you sell it is all. So get with one of our real estate ELPs at RamseySolutions.com. Find out what your reality is.
Always pushing the ELPs.
This market is so hot. My guess is you're going to get out of it.
Or just get with the best agent, the best team in your marketplace. Don't worry if they're an ELP.
That's my
or
guess.
Not.
And here's the thing. If you were living 50
ELP, by the way, is Dave Ramsey profits off the ELP program. So that's why he pushes that.
miles away and working a new job,
Love you, Dave.
you would not call me up and say, hey, Dave, I want to buy a house 50 miles away with nothing down, leverage it all the way up to as much on it as it's worth, which means the rent is barely, if at all, going to cover the payment. And so I really want to take on this liability 50 miles away. Nothing.
That's exactly right. Who in their right mind would go buy a house that you're not going to drive by every single week, that you can't easily self-manage, and that's not going to provide a whole bunch of cash flow or instant equity? Nobody would do that deal.
Down, by the way. You wouldn't do that. That's effectively what you got here. House has got no equity in it, and by the time you rent it, you're barely going to cover the payment, and by the time it's vacant a time or two, and then the heat and air burps on you, you're going to have a loss for the year. This thing is a problem. It is not a blessing.
And I just heard the other day that maybe today, that they reinstated the mask mandate in California and some place. Like, you're one COVID away, you're one uptick in numbers, et cetera, for colleges going back online, and suddenly this thing that feels like it's a surefire bet in this college town not being so surefire anymore. The guys I know,
college towns going forward are not, to his point here, he uses the word surefire bet. They're not the investment they used to be on real estate with the way college is changing.
with college real estate, and it's admittedly not a lot, they're getting out just because it's so uncertain.
Yeah. You don't know if the kids are ever going to go back in that classroom again, or if they are, it's going to be an unstable and volatile situation at best. So in and out, depending on who's panicking where and where we're going to overreact again.
All right. Well, I think I've heard enough there. You get the gist there. Here's the big piece of advice, and I always encourage people. It sounds like Jake, he didn't say this, but it sounds like that was their first home they ever bought. So this would be, in essence, their first time being a landlord. Okay. If you're thinking about buying investment real estate and you're going to, rent that out, one, if it's a single family house, you need to self-manage the property. Okay. Nobody is going to manage the property for you where you can still, if it's a single family home, if it's a 1-unit residence, nobody is ever going to manage that property for you where the numbers make sense. Meaning, even if you're $400 cash flow a month, meaning you can rent it out for $2,400 and your mortgage is only $2,000. Oh, I'm making $400 a month. First of all, you're not making $400 a month because you should be putting 2 to 3% back in the home every year for normal maintenance. That's going to chew up that $400 a month. But let's just say you're making the $400 a month, and I can find someone to manage it for $200. What do you think that manager is really going to do for $200 a month? Who is going to do any type of a real job managing a property for $200 a month? How many times are they going to visit it? How much are they going to care about? All they're going to do is hope their phone doesn't ring from the tenant. They're basically going to be stealing from you because they're going to do nothing. You have to self-manage single family real estate, okay? It just is what it is. You've got to do the work. You've got to put in the sweat equity when you're managing real estate. And if the house is 50 to 60 miles away, like it was in Jake's example, that's not a good property for you to manage. You want it to be within a 5-mile radius. You want it to be within at most 30 minutes of driving distance from where you live so that you can drive by it, so you can check it out, so you can do your quarterly walkthroughs if that's in your lease, whatever the case may be. You want to be able to touch it and feel it and be an active manager and owner. That's when you're going to have success owning single family investment real estate. But if you're a first time landlord and this thing's out of state or 50 or 60 miles away, that's going to be a recipe for disaster. You're not going to know what's going on. You're going to make a ton of mistakes. Those mistakes are going to multiply. It's going to be a frustrating experience for you. So if you're getting in for the first time investing in real estate, do it around where you live and in a market that you know inside and out. Really learn that market that you live in. That's going to be the easiest place for you to invest. All right. Appreciate you guys checking out this video. Love for you to leave a comment and consider subscribing if you like this content so you can see more of it. See you guys on the next one.